Despite winning the first race of the season comfortably, things are not well at Red Bull. There is a massive fracture in the Red Bull team that could see three-time reigning world champion Max Verstappen walk out the door at the end of the season. So let's take a look at what's causing this conflict, as well as how this could affect the entire Red Bull team moving forward. If you aren't aware, one of the biggest storylines in the sport in the off-season was the allegations towards Red Bull team boss Christian Horner. An employee alleged that Horner acted inappropriately towards them for an extended period of time. The female employee made a formal complaint to the company about controlling and inappropriate behavior, and Red Bull launched an investigation to get to the bottom of the issue. The Red Bull investigation went on for a long time, and Horner himself was questioned for more than 8 hours by investigators. After all of that, the Red Bull team principal was exonerated of any wrongdoing by the independent investigation. Throughout the process, Horner had denied any wrongdoing and said he would defend himself throughout. At the time of the announcement, Red Bull hoped they were on the path to putting this behind them. Seeing as the investigation was concluded before the first race of the season in Bahrain, Red Bull wanted to focus on what was happening on the track instead of looking at what was happening off it. But just the day after the investigation was concluded, emails were leaked to different personalities about what exactly Horner had said. An email was sent to many different F1 personalities as well as the FIA themselves. This put Horner straight back into the spotlight. Despite the leaked emails, Horner remains in the job and was sat trackside on Saturday as Max Verstappen extended his winning streak to 8 races. With Checo finishing second, it might have seemed like Red Bull were off to the perfect start in 2024. The issue for the team is that the off-the-track allegations are incredibly serious, and the dismissive way that Red Bull first dealt with them have caused it to become an unwelcome distraction. The team know that the slightest slip-up could give Red Bull's competitors a massive advantage and see them overtake the reigning champions. One man who is certainly focused on results on the track is Max Verstappen's dad, Jos. If you're new to F1, you might not be aware of the fact that Jos Verstappen has been incredibly involved in his son's career. Jos is a former driver himself with over 100 starts in the sport and a couple of podiums on his resume. Jos is focused on turning his son into the best Formula 1 driver of all time. I think it is more than fair to say that Jos is too involved in Max's F1 career, as he appointed himself his son's manager very early on in Max's career. Jos loves to voice his opinions on any F1 story, so the media are always going to get a good soundbite out of the older Verstappen. Jos said, "There is tension here while he remains in position. The team is in danger of being torn apart. It can't go on the way it is." He even slated Horner about his handling of the scandal. Jos added, "It will explode. He is playing the victim when he is the one causing the problems." This quote came shortly after Max secured the race win in Bahrain, but what we now know is that Jos had spoken directly to Horner over the race weekend. On Friday, Christian Horner was summoned for talks with F1 CEO Stefano Domenicali and FIA President Mohammed bin Sulayem. After those talks, Horner returned to the Red Bull garage and was met by a furious Jos Verstappen. There was supposedly a heated row between the two, with Jos storming out before returning to reluctantly shake hands with the Red Bull team boss. While Jos refuted any claims of a row between the two, it would make sense for the hot-headed Jos to have a shouting match with Horner. The craziest part of this whole story is that Christian Horner is not the only team principal that Jos was chatting with over the weekend in Bahrain. Media cameras were all over the paddock on the first weekend of the season. Some of the cameras caught Jos chatting with Mercedes team boss Toto Wolf. This combined with reports that Jos told close friends Max would be forced to leave Red Bull if Horner stayed in his main role, means rumors were rife. Could we be seeing Toto Wolf trying to take advantage of the mess that is Red Bull and steal the Dutchman away? We know how influential Jos Verstappen is in his son's career, and I'm sure that Jos would have been thinking about his son driving for Mercedes if things don't work out with Red Bull. But would Max really leave Red Bull? The thing we don't really know is how Max Verstappen feels about this whole situation. Whenever he's been asked, Max has always given the PR-friendly answer and tried to remain pretty neutral. However, there is something that Max said which might give an indication into how the Dutchman is feeling. It cannot be easy for Max being stuck in between an argument between his boss and his father. But Max seems to have sided with his father for now. In an interview in the build-up to the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, Max defended his father and said that he's not a liar. While you might think that this was an indication he's open to leaving, then his comments later on are going to surprise you. Max added, "But I'm very relaxed and very happy at the team, and the performance is there, so there is no reason to leave." It seems like Max is just concerned about trying to win his fourth driver's world title. The junior Verstappen has never been too interested in what happens off the track, as shown by his sour feelings towards the pageantry of the Las Vegas Grand Prix last year. The point that Max makes at the moment is important. It's not just that Red Bull have the fastest car at the moment, but they are the fastest by a long way. If Verstappen was to leave, then there is no guarantee he would immediately be back in title contention. Why would he want to leave the best team on the grid? So what will Red Bull do? As much as it seems like Max is going to stay with Red Bull, the team will want to do whatever they can to keep him. If another team emerges as a contender to Red Bull during the season, then Max could have a real option if he wanted to leave. Reports suggest that Max has a clause that would allow him to leave at the end of this season. Jos Verstappen is clearly pushing for the Red Bull team to get rid of Christian Horner, and Helmut Marko seems to agree with him. While the Red Bull advisor has decided not to comment any more on the allegations against Horner, the rumours are that Marko is pushing for the team to get rid of Horner. As part of the fallout from the investigation, Max was going to sit with Red Bull co-owner Charles Uvidia before the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. It seems like the owners are more interested in keeping Horner in his position, considering the success that the team has had with him in charge. You would have to think that the team will side with Verstappen if they have to. Red Bull are also going to try to make sure that they hold on to Adrian Newey. The team's chief technical officer would probably be a bigger loss than Verstappen if he chose to leave, considering Newey has designed 14 championship-winning F1 cars. If Newey was to be tempted away from Ferrari or even Mercedes, it would be catastrophic for the team. So this is not going to be an easy situation for Red Bull to handle moving forward. They have a lot of key guys they want to keep happy, but how do they do that? What do you think Red Bull should do? Is it time for Christian Horner to go? Why not put your thoughts in the comments down below? While you're down there, hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.